Okay, I got a little review here. I also want to help you with solar a little bit to help you to think a little bit. And I'll talk about that later. But right now, these are called Onite light bulbs. They connect to any battery, throw the switch, and they're pretty light, pretty bright. Okay? So I'll hold these up here like this. They throw quite a bit of light. Not bad. Throw that light off. We'll hit one of my main lights off. My computer light's going to stay on though. Hit that light off. So this will give you an idea. There you go. So if I'm out in the bush and I got these basically hanging up by my canopy, they're throwing quite a bit of light. I guess you need two. I would say you need two. I can see everything on my desk. All right, flip everything on. Now, these Onite lights are 10 bucks. Now, if you buy this thing, which I think is $7 or $8, it's a dimmer switch that can connect to it. So let's say you're inside a tent. I got this right? Nope. So here we go. We put the dimmer switch on. We go bright. We go lower, lower, lower. See that? So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty long. I'm going to turn that off. That's called the Onite light and the Onite dimmer switch. Two lights, and the dimmer switch comes with two. So, I don't know, around maybe 25 bucks. Awesome for camping. Little doodads. But a big thing that's going on right now is there's a thing called solar generators. We have the Jackery, these little boxes that you plug everything into for your power. And everybody gets paranoid. You're all prepping. And some of them are pretty pricey. You know, you see some for $200, $300, $1,000. And when you start looking at them, you're like, wow, I need one of those. You know, the power goes out. I've seen it go out in Texas. I mean, I've seen all kinds of bad things happening. I need one of those. Let me tell you a little bit of information about that. The problem with a solar generator is it has basically a marine battery or a solar battery inside the unit. They don't last forever. You put that thing on your shelf for 10 years and you come back 10 years later, chances are it won't even work. And a lot of preppers will buy that and say, okay, it's there when I need it. It's not there when you need it. No, not at all. Now, there's one thing about solar you have to understand, and batteries. Heat is bad for them. Heat is bad for electronics. Always has been, always will be. You'll see a Jackery, which is a tiny box, and they'll take 8 to 9 hours to charge that battery. Ever ask yourself why? Ever ask yourself, hey, can I switch that battery out? You can't. When that thing's done, it's a brick. Now, unless you know what you're doing, you might be able to get a couple parts from it, but it's a brick. So, why are people buying them? If you can convince people they're in danger and they're afraid, you can get them to buy anything. Jackery might last 10 years, might last 5 years. Nobody knows. Now, you take these batteries, for example. When I'm charging these, okay, they get hot. Well, if I put a big plastic container around them and then I charge them, it deteriorates the battery. But there's a secret to it. But if it takes 8 hours to charge, and these do take 8 hours to charge, then that heat is being kept down. So hopefully I can keep it in that nice tight little unit and make it look all pretty for you. And then take 8 hours to charge it. I'm going to send you to a link to a guy I was watching. He had a complete build of his own solar generator. He links to the parts. You can go buy them. Parts can be, I don't know, $500 to $700. But It all depends what you want. Do you want quality parts or do you want garbage parts? Personally, I would put quality parts in. Just the battery alone is going to cost you $350. Just that. And he puts this whole thing together in a milk crate. It's really quite impressive. I actually downloaded the video and put everything in my text editor and parts, and over time I'm going to build myself one. So why build your own solar generator compared to just buying one? Well, charge time on this thing is less than 2 hours. I literally can charge this thing in 2 hours with solar panels or a gas generator using less fuel. Why is that? Well, he builds it in a milk crate. It's not as small, it's in a milk crate, but there's a lot of air around those components. And because there's a lot of air around those components, we can put a 2-hour charge to it. We don't got to wait 8 hours. And we can design it how we want. Do we want 8 USB ports or do we want 2? It's all up to us how we wish to do it. It's portable, it's a milk crate. Pick it up, move it where you want. Not pretty, if that matters to you, but 10 years from now, a decade, when that battery starts having a hard time, well, big deal. Pull two screws, take the battery out, put a new battery in, screw it up, good to go again. You ain't going to do that with the Zachary and some of the other ones. So you go pay $1,000 every 10 years, or you make your own for $500, $600, $700, and then replace the battery 10 years from now for $300. That's your choice. Solar is the way it's going, but it's expensive. Keep that in mind. It's not cheap. I mean, if you really want to do solar properly, you really would, just even to run an air conditioner, would blow your mind away at how many panels you need and exactly what you're going to have to do. I mean, even if you buy something where you buy the unit where you can sell your electricity back to the power company, and those units are like 10 grand. And of course, it becomes a game after once you get the hang of it. Where can I get this? Where can I get that? And how well made is this? And is it made too cheap? Nobody knows. You know, you can only go by certain people on YouTube that have tested with certain components and say, okay, he seems to know what he's talking about, so I'm going to try and go with that one. And that's what you can do. Nothing else. So I would suggest, if you're thinking about buying a Jackery or Gold Zero or any of these other so-called fancy companies, don't. Build your own, put it in a milk crate. Now, there is one company out there called Titan or something like that. Now, they're impressive. And if you've got the money and you don't want to build your own, those are really impressive. So I would go with that one, but you're looking at 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever. So anyhow, I have a link to his channel if you want to go watch a couple videos. Maybe you want to sub the guy. He's got over 400,000 subs. He knows what he's talking about. And if you want to learn about solar, that's a good place to start. And I'm sure once you watch a couple of his videos, YouTube will start suggesting some. And it will open your eyes a little bit more on quality parts and shitty parts and solar and everything, probably what it would take. Anyhow, links in the bottom. Catch you guys on the next one.